Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be doing swatches of the Phytosurgence Skin Spark cream blushes. I'm wearing one of the shades right now on my cheeks. I wonder if you can guess which shade it is down below in the comments. But I asked in my previous Phytosurgence video if you all wanted to see a blush swatch video, so I'm here today to give you that. I do hope you find this helpful and help you narrow down which shade you should pick up, even though they're all very beautiful and very wearable. Yeah, I just hope this gives you a little bit more insight into the colors and what they look like on an olive skin tone. So I would love for you to subscribe if you have not already. That would mean so much to me, and let's get into the swatches. So right now I have the shade Smolder on my cheeks. It's this really beautiful burnt apricot peach. That's what it's described as on the website, and I feel like that's pretty accurate. It is a really warm, toasty color on my cheeks. I love this for an everyday look. It's pretty neutral, and I think this is such a beautiful shade, especially in the summertime, and even now I feel like it goes really well with this kind of like fall toned look. But I have it pretty built up on my cheeks right now, but I can build it up a little more so you can see what that looks like. These blushes are fairly creamy. They're a really beautiful moussey texture in the pot, and they are a pretty thin formula as well for being a cream product, and they're really pigmented, so just be careful to start, but they blend very easily into a just beautiful flush on the cheeks. You can build them up, and they're quite easy to build up and sheer out as well, so they're a really beautiful formula in that way. So this is what it looks like a little bit more built up, and this is what it looked like before. All of these blushes are also a matte finish, so they have no shimmer. They're not really a dewy finish either, but they leave a really beautiful skin-like finish. So again, this is the shade Smolder, which is described as a burnt apricot peach. So next up we have the shade Simmer, which is described as a soft baby pink, and this is such a cute shade. I think this would be absolutely perfect for the summertime, and it's not one of those like grayish toned pinks where it washes tan to deep skin tones out. This is a really rich, beautiful pink, so I think this would look stunning on so many skin tones. So let's put this one on. I do like blending these blushes out with a brush. That is my preferred method of application, but I do think these are really easy and really beautiful blended out with the finger as well. I just find that using a brush is a little bit easier. So this is what Simmer looks like right now. I will build it up a little bit more so you can see what this looks like built up, but I think it's really pretty. I feel like all of these blushes work for every day depending on how much you sheer it out, but I love that cute little flush it gives me. So this is the shade Simmer, described as a soft baby pink. Next we have the shade Fervor, which is described as a rich berry with a low white base. I also absolutely love this shade. It's the perfect winter flush on the cheeks, and I think it just makes me look so cute. I love this with so many of my sweaters as well. I don't know, that's kind of random to say, but I really do like wearing this when I'm wearing a sweater, if that makes sense. But I think this one is stunning. I don't know how well it's gonna go with this makeup look, but we'll see. So this is what Fervor looks like, lightly sheared out on the cheeks, very wearable. Again, this is very pigmented, so you do kind of have to work light-handed and kind of build up from there, but I love this as a light flush on the cheeks, but I especially love it built up too. And I'm blending this blush out with one of their brushes. This is the Skyfluff. This was specifically made for their brushes, and it blends their blushes out seamlessly and so easily. It's really amazing. You just need a few swipes and you have the blush all blended out, but highly recommend this one if you do buy the blush, because this works for so many different products as well. I love this with all of my cream blushes, even cream contour and cream bronzer. This is just an incredible brush to have in your collection, so I definitely recommend this as well. So this is what Fervor looks like lightly on the cheeks, and I'll build it up now. So this is the shade Fervor, described as a rich berry with a low white base. And it is so beautiful. You can see how berry jam it is on my cheeks. I love this one when I'm wearing like a pink or purple sweater or any pink or purple clothing or pink or purple makeup as well. So this one's a beautiful one. It's definitely one of my favorites as well. And it's just like rich, beautiful berry. And when they describe a blush as a low white base, here on their site they say a low white base means that the shades appear more translucent than opaque, which lends itself well, especially with the deepest skin tones, to avoid any ashiness or grayness, which I think is super helpful, and I love that they include that on their website. All right, next we have the shade Swelter, which is described as a bright cranberry with a low white base. This one's so punchy and beautiful. I love this shade so much. I don't wear it too often because it's a little bit more bright than my usual taste, but beautiful nonetheless. So let's try this one on. So this is what Swelter looks like, pretty sheared out on the cheeks. Again, it's super wearable, but let's build it up. So this is the shade Swelter built up on the cheeks. It's so pretty. I think it makes my cheeks look really like plump and juicy, and it kind of reminds me of like a yummy apple or something like that. But this is such a beautiful shade. Again, this is described as a bright cranberry with a low white base. Okay, next we have my favorite shade. This is the shade Inferno. This one is described as a brick toned bronze, and I love all terracotta shades on my cheeks. I love shades like this so much. They just give me a really beautiful like sunburnt look, and this is definitely my favorite shade and my most used. So let's put this one on. So this is the shade Inferno. I built this one up a little bit more because I got too excited, but I feel like it's not as built up as I usually would wear it. So this is it fairly sheared out, but let's build it up a little bit more. And I love dragging this one across my nose to really give that sunburnt effect. That's like my favorite way to wear this one. And I think it's so beautiful. I love wearing this one too with a bunch of like faux freckles, really giving off that sunburnt kind of sun-kissed look. And this is so beautiful in the fall time as well. And this one looks really pretty on the lips too. So again, this is the shade Inferno, which is described as a bricked tone bronze. Okay, next up we have the shade Fume. This is another really big favorite of mine. This is described as a dusty rose, and this one's perfect for everyday. It's really neutral, kind of everyday blush for my skin tone. It doesn't compete with any other makeup that I have on my face, so if I'm not sure which blush to choose, I always lean towards this one because I know it won't distract from anything else on my face, if that makes sense. So this is another big favorite of mine, so let's put this one on. So this is what Fume looks like sheared out on the cheeks. As you can see, it's just like a really pretty kind of neutral flush on my skin tone. I absolutely love this one. Perfect for every day, but let's build it up to see what that looks like. So this is what Fume looks like built up on the cheeks. It's still not overpowering or anything too punchy, even built up like this. I think it looks beautiful, works with so many makeup looks, and is a really great everyday blush like I mentioned. So again, this is the shade Fume, described as a dusty rose. Next we have the shade Ember, which is described as a coral tangerine, but I like to call this I think I was talking to someone on Instagram about this, how we were like, this looks like a kind of burnt guava shade. This one is absolutely stunning. I think this is the perfect summertime shade. It's just such a delicious shade. So let's put this one on. I'm really excited. So this is what Ember looks like sheared out on the cheeks. I think if you're someone who's into corals and peaches, you would really like this, especially if you're my skin tone, because I think this shade is so pretty. Really good for every day as well. I feel like all of them are really good for every day, but love this one so much. So let's build this one up a little bit more too. I also really like putting this one on the nose to give you kind of that sunburn look as well. This one's so pretty. So this is the shade Ember, described as a coral tangerine. I love this one so much. You can see how much like life it brought back into my face. And this one's so fun. It just is so delicious. Again, this is Ember described as a coral tangerine. The last shade in the core collection of the Skin Spark cream blushes is the shade Singe. This one is described as a bright neutral pink. I don't wear this one too often, so I'm excited to put this on my face. So this is the shade Singe sheared out on my cheeks. I felt like this one was a little bit more pigmented than the others, but maybe I accidentally put a little bit too much. But yeah, I just felt like this one was a tad more pigmented. So this is what this one looks like sheared out, and let's build it up. So this is Singe. I think this is so pretty, very punchy on the cheeks. It is pulling a little bit more kind of coral on my skin tone than it is pink, but still so pretty. Again, this is the shade Singe, described as a bright neutral pink. And last we have the shade Molten. This isn't part of their core collection and is something they added afterwards, but this is described as a spicy tangerine with a low white base. This one is a beautiful, punchy, gorgeous orange shade, and this one is so stunning on deep skin tones. So let's put this one on. I'm really excited. I don't wear this one that often. I feel like oranges don't really look good on my skin tone because it is, I don't know, I feel like it clashes with my olive undertones, but we'll see. I haven't worn this in a long time. Look at that. I love that so much. So this is the shade Molten, pretty sheared out on my cheeks. It's really warm and toasty and delicious. Again, I love all of their shades. This one's so pretty. So let's build this one up as well. Yum. So this is Molten built up on the cheeks. You can tell it's like very orange on my skin tone, which isn't something I love as an olive skin toned person, but this definitely makes me want to wear it more because I think it's pretty flattering. I feel like I've tried other orange blushes and they're not really my vibe, but this one is so pretty. So again, this is the shade Molten, which is described as a spicy tangerine. So that was everything. That was all of the Phytosurgence Skin Spark blushes swatched on my cheeks here today. And before I finish the video off, I thought I would do a couple comparison swatches of some shades that maybe you think are similar or you're trying to decide between. So the first two shades I thought I would swatch next to each other are the shades Simmer and Singe. One is described as a bright neutral pink and the other is described as a soft baby pink. So Simmer, this one here, is described as a soft baby pink, and then Singe is described as a bright neutral pink. And in the pots, this is what they look like next to each other. So this one here is Singe and this one here is Simmer. So here are the two shades swatched next to each other. I did have to kind of shear them out and blend them out a little bit so you could see the difference a little bit more. But this one here is Singe. It's a little bit more corally. And then this one here is Simmer. This one is described as the soft baby pink, but they look very similar when swatched on the hand. But you can tell that Singe is a little bit more, I don't know, coral based, and this one is a little bit more pinky. So a couple other shades I thought were similar, or maybe you're trying to decide between, are the shades Ember and Inferno, these ones here. So this one here is the shade Ember, and then this one here is the shade Inferno. And they are similar, but you can tell that Ember, this one here, is a little bit peachier, and Inferno is a little bit more bricky and more terracotta. And this is them swatched on the back of my hand. So you can definitely see that Inferno definitely looks more terracotta, more bricky, and then Ember here is a lot peachier and more of that coral that they describe it as. But they're both stunning. This one's a little bit more red based as well, and I can really tell that when I apply it to my skin. Okay, so that was all of the blushes swatched here for you today on my cheeks, and a couple of comparisons as well. I hope that was helpful. I would love to know what your favorite shades are, or what your favorite shade is, and would love to know what you're thinking about picking up if you are thinking of picking these up. My favorite shades for sure are Inferno is number one, and I also love Fervor and Fume. I feel like that's like the trifecta, but after this swatching video, I'm a lot more drawn to Ember and Smolder as well, but I love them all, so it's hard to pick. But yeah, thank you again. Please make sure to leave any questions or comments down below, and I would love to get back to you. I hope you're having a good day or evening wherever you are, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye!